Okay, let's talk for a little bit about reinventing yourself. I know you see a lot of videos on how to reinvent yourself or how to lock in to create a better you. And that's all wonderful. But in this video, I want to give you a different perspective on reinventing yourself. Because I know you see videos where they say, okay, lock in and reinvent yourself in this many days. And if you're someone that you've tried doing that before, or maybe it just feels like work to you, but deep down, you really do want to reinvent yourself. Here is a perspective that I feel might help you. When it comes to reinventing yourself, I know we kind of think of it as, okay, yeah, I'm becoming a new me, right? But instead of going out and feeling like you have to go build yourself a new, I don't know, morning routine, or you have to make sure that you're reading 20 pages of a book a day, or you instead of feeling like you have to have some structured plan, which again, I'm not saying it's bad, or I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm not saying I disagree with it, but if you feel like that sort of strict structure just isn't for you, if you feel like, oh my gosh, this feels like a chore, then stick with me. You're not necessarily reinventing yourself at all. You're not necessarily becoming a new person. What you're doing instead is you're essentially putting a stop to abandoning who you already are. Because think about it. If you feel the need to reinvent yourself, that is essentially you already knowing deep down inside that you're not who you were yesterday anymore. So, yeah, we can say we're becoming a new person or we're becoming a new version of ourselves, however you want to word it, it doesn't matter. It's just deep down, if you already feel that, even for a split second, you're already that. You don't have to lock in for 60 days or 90 days if you don't want to. All you really need to do is just let go and shed that old version of you that you're no longer involved with. Because if you already, again, if you already feel the need to reinvent yourself, that means that you already see something different for yourself. You already see yourself in a different way. And even from that perspective, when you just allow yourself to shed your old skin, so to speak, you'll notice how you'll naturally start doing different things. Instead of locking in for 90 days where you have this strict morning structure, instead, when you know that you could just shed your old skin and be the new you now, you'll wake up and automatically feel, oh, you know what? I feel like going for a run today, or I feel like reading a new book today. You'll start automatically feeling all of the new little habits that your new self is going to pick up. You'll automatically start feeling that. So you don't have to create yourself a strict structure if you don't want to. I used to do that. I used to try to lock in for X amount of days and try a new routine, and I would have it structured. I would even go as far as to create myself a little visual that I could look at every morning. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, for me, it felt too heavy. It felt like, oh my gosh, this is such a chore. Like all of these little things that I have listed in a strict format, it feels like a chore. So I knew that there was something missing for me. I knew that having that really strict routine just wasn't for me. I sat there one day and I just started thinking, okay, wait a second. If I'm already feeling like there's a new version of me, then that means that I've already technically started to reinvent myself. I don't need to go out and have this solid plan in place if I just don't want to. And that's okay. Because again, that type of structure just isn't for me. I want to have flexibility. I want things to feel like they happen naturally, not like I have to go force the thing to happen. That it just doesn't feel nice to me. And this could even be taken in different ways. Maybe you haven't outright felt like, oh yeah, I want to reinvent myself. But maybe it's showing up in different ways, like you feel like you're always hiding parts of yourself from people, or you notice that you're a people pleaser, or maybe you code switch a lot. Maybe you're like this, maybe you're one way with one group of people, but then with this group of people, you feel like you have to be a different way. And those type of things can also bring up that feeling of, okay, I'm being inauthentic. How can I be more authentic? How can I show up more as myself or as a new me, if you want to call it that? And again, it's all just a matter of becoming aware of that little voice that you get that tells you, hey, this does not feel right. Or hey, this isn't who we are anymore. Or let's stop people pleasing all the time. Let's stop doing things because we feel like we should. Let's stop hiding parts of ourselves or our personality just because we feel like someone else might not like it or we feel like we might not fit in. Just be yourself. That's all you really have to do, is just be yourself. Because anytime that you're getting that little voice that's saying, no, 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 this does not feel right, that's the new you. That is you calling yourself out, saying, hello, we are not meant to be hiding. We're not meant to be people pleasing. We should be ourselves. And again, from personal example, when I realized that I couldn't have that strict structure of locking in for 90 days to reinvent myself, when I let that attachment and that pressure go, it felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulder. And almost immediately, the following day, I was able to wake up with a fresh and clear mind, knowing that I didn't have to follow that structure that I didn't like. And it allowed me to open up space to find the things that I actually enjoyed that brought me to reinventing myself. I was able to get up every morning, and I just randomly one day was like, you know what? I think I'm going to start drinking lemon water when I wake up. I don't even know where it came from. It just came out of nowhere. Then I told myself, if I don't feel like working out in the morning, I'm not going to force myself. I know that I could still work out in the evening and I'll get my workout in for the day. I don't have to force myself to work out at a certain time if that's not what my body is feeling at the time. So all of those new habits that I started forming around the new version of myself, they came naturally to me. I didn't have to put pressure on myself. I didn't have to force myself. It all just fell into place. And along the way, it started to feel just like myself. Like it started to feel like I was finally I don't even like to say it like this. It started to feel like I was finally becoming myself. But again, it's not about becoming anyone. It's just about not abandoning who you already are. It's about putting that negative voice to the side, the one that's like, oh yeah, we should be doing this, we should be doing that, or we better do this a certain way. It's ignoring that voice, the shoulda, coulda, woulda, and just sitting in stillness and knowing that you are already who you want to be. You can never be separate from what you want or who you want to be in your life unless that is where you're putting your awareness on all of the things that aren't for you or aren't you. The only thing that is separating you from becoming that new version of yourself fully is the fact that you don't allow yourself to just be that. Nothing in life is ever about forcing to make things happen. It's about just stepping into that version of yourself that is what you want to be already, or that has what you want already. When you're all in your head about things, how do I reinvent myself? What are all the things that I have to do? I'm going to have new hobbies. I'm going to have new habits. But how? What type of habits? Should I make it very structured? All of that stuff that starts going around in your head is what's blocking you from just being the new version of you. And I know that almost doesn't make sense because you're like, well, yeah, well, I need to figure out what habits I should implement in my life now, right? But like I said, when you're just allowing yourself to shed the old version of you, you're already stepping into that new version. You're already going to naturally start embodying that version of you. You're going to be identifying with it. When you identify with something, everything else that you do, your little habits, they're going to also reflect that as well. Instead of getting home from work and doom scrolling every day, you're going to get home from work and you're going to hit the gym, or you're going to open up a book and read for 20 minutes, or you're going to go on a walk for half an hour. You'll feel that naturally. It's not something that you're going to be like, okay, let me look at my schedule. Okay, 3 p.m., I need to go for a nature walk. You don't have to do that if that does not feel good for you. You will naturally start to align, in a sense, with your new self. You don't have to go out and force anything. You'll start feeling it naturally. So, last reminder, stop abandoning who you already are. You don't need to necessarily reinvent yourself. You already know who you are. You've already felt who you want to be inside. Stop holding back from that. Let it shine. When you let it shine, you will naturally and automatically reinvent yourself.